3.
Grand Rising, welcome
Blog
to
Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio and Health and Wellbeing with Beata. I'm on the beach the last couple of days, so different background, but we're still bringing you all the life and light and education and information. I got a great show today for you. We're talking about the horse. There's an old saying, well, maybe not so old, that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And we're going to talk about that, what the deeper meaning is of that statement or that saying, because it just came to me and it kept coming to me over and over again, which is always a sign that Spirit is saying, talk about it. So let's welcome our global family to the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, bonjour. In Spain, hola. In Italy, ciao. In Egypt, ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, akwaba. In Nigeria, peleo. In South Africa, sawubona. In Senegal, nangadef. In Kenya, jambo. In Israel, shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes. And we want you to talk to us. That's us being all these collective cells running and moving in this temple. And we also want you to know about my tiny house village. If you are new to Health and Wellbeing with Beata, I am a person who lives in a small house, 320 square feet. When I'm not on the beach, I'm in a bigger place right now because the beach is an hour and a half away from where I normally live. But my permanent, well, at least for maybe the next few years, my residence is in a small house. So I'm what most people would refer to as a minimalist. I don't have a lot of stuff in my house because I don't have room for it. And I want to just introduce you to the lifestyle that I've been living for the past 10 years. I started living in my first tiny house in 2014, and it was a tiny house on wheels, 160 square feet. Yes, yes, yes. And I was having dinner with some friends yesterday, and I was sharing with her my tiny house experience, and she was like shocked to hear that I actually lived in 160 square feet of space for 5 years, because the house I was in yesterday, breaking bread with family and friends, was probably over 3,000, maybe 4,000 square feet. It was huge, beautiful house. Then been there, done that. See, I had my house with the swimming pool, 2-car garage for a good 20 years or more. Lovely, wonderful experience. Family, raising 2 sons. That was a most enlightening experience, wonderful lessons. And then a divorce happened. So you got to sell the house and move on. So my experience was to go tiny. I've never regretted it because I have more time to travel. I've had less time cleaning the house, maintaining the house, and it's just a blessing. So I want to just share my tiny house intro with you, because we're on YouTube as well as Blog Talk Radio and Facebook Live. So my YouTube channel is Viata's Tiny House Village. And here is part of the journey that created Viata's Tiny House Village. So I hope you saw in that video the opportunity to become so creative with a smaller living space. And I'm here every Friday morning to encourage you and educate you and share with you the joys of living tiny and having less responsibilities and so much more. So thank you for joining me every week, every Friday morning on Health and Wellbeing with Viata. Now, Blog Talk Radio is going to be shutting down business next year. So we've got 2 more months to give you the quality education, entertainment that you look forward to. But my YouTube channel will not be going away. In fact, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe so that I can continue to bring you quality programs that educate, that enlighten, and that entertain you. I'm trying to be a little entertaining here. So welcome and thank you for joining me. Now, we're here every Friday morning, Health and Wellbeing, to inspire you to breathe first and foremost. Breathe deeper every day, every day. And when you wake up in the morning, we want you to roll these joints, because this vessel of clay that our soul is living in for the temporary residence, temporary residence of our soul here, is a powerful, powerful instrument, energy, enlightenment. And every time you roll your joints, what we do for the first few minutes here every Friday, you are activating cosmic tones in your body. Cosmic tones in your neck joints, your shoulder joints, your elbow joints, your wrist joints, your hip joints, knee joints, and ankle joints. So that's why I'm here to encourage you to do this joint rolling every day before you even get out of bed. And that's why I'm actually sitting on a sofa bed that I sleep on while I'm here near the beach. And I want to encourage you while I do the rolling in the bed. Yes, start it in the bed every day. To why? Number one, improve your circulation. When you roll all your joints in the morning, your blood is going to start flowing better. Number two, your lymphatic system is going to drain better. You might, if you have any swollen feet, ankles, legs, wherever, swelling is an indication that number one, your lymphatic system's not draining as well as it could, and number two, something that maybe you've eaten is interfering with that lymphatic system. Too many sweets, too many carbs. There's a number of things that we talk about here that you should reduce so that you don't have the swelling and the imbalance and the lack of homeostasis. Homeostasis is a word that is describes the balance, the symphony that your body conducts every day. When everything is in symphonic order, harmony, working properly, that's homeostasis. And we're working to keep that homeostasis, or at least get back to it if you're out of balance. So homeostasis is actually a word, you could say balance in your body. So that's why we're here every Friday morning, to encourage that balance. And then, so we have circulation improved, your lymphatic system is improved, your immune system is improving when you're moving your body. If you have the flu or a cold, professional health professionals will tell you need to rest for sure, but you also need to keep the body moving somehow, some way. Don't just turn into a zombie and do nothing. The body is going to heal better if you're moving. And then finally, your muscles are going to be strengthened when you're rolling the joints. I don't know if you're aware, but the reason you can do all this movement in the joints is because there's muscles around those joints. And all of this has to do with cosmic connection, bringing balance to the system, the biological computer here. So give thanks, give thanks. We're still listen, yesterday was called Thanksgiving, but here it is again, Thanksgiving. It doesn't end. Please, please don't let Thanksgiving end, because gratitude is one of the highest vibrations and frequencies that heals the body. Gratitude. You have any sickness going on in your body, weakness, just stay in gratitude. Don't complain. In fact, before we do our joint rolling, I want to just mention 7 things you must quit to hear the Creator clearly. I heard this yesterday, and I don't remember who it was. It was on a YouTube, and it was just so good. I said, I'm going to share this tomorrow morning. And so get a pencil and pen. You should have a pencil and pen every Friday morning, because I have all the information and knowledge you need to get well. Yeah, and I don't say that with a big ego, but I share with you professionals and educators every Friday who are teaching us how to get well and stay well. So I have all the information you need. Every experience I've been through for almost 70 years now is available to you here on Friday morning for just an hour. Right now, we're going to do an hour show today. But here's something that Carl Lewis, his name, that's who shared this. Carl Lewis, not Carl Lewis, but his last name is Lewis. Let me just read them real quick, and then we're going to get into our joint rolling, because I know that's why you're here. If you're here this early in the morning, you're here to roll some joint. 7 things you must quit to hear the Creator clearly. Now, the word must is kind of a meh. You don't have to do anything. In fact, that's why the title today is about horses, leading horses to water. You're the horse. I'm the horse. We are led to water of life. We are led to life every day by the Creator source. Even the horses that I saw on my tiny house journey. I lived in a tiny house for 5 years out in the rural area of Orlando, near Orlando. Horses right next to me every day. All they did was put their heads down and eat grass. Eating grass. I witnessed that for 5 years every day. Why do they eat grass? Because they are led by Creator, divine wisdom to eat grass, to live. Those horses know instinctively, naturally, cellularly, eat the grass. So when we're talking about why won't the horse drink the water? Those horses, most horses know they need to drink water, eat grass, and eat hay, whatever, to stay alive. But we, as humans, we can be led to the water by someone like myself with knowledge, experience, and what we're going to hear, things you must quit to hear. But there are things in the human psyche, human physical body that interfere with drinking the water. And that is drinking, taking in the nourishment, the life, the knowledge, the wisdom, to improve your life, to improve your health. There's things that interfere with drinking the water naturally, leaning forward, drinking the water. Horsey, drink the water. So here's things you must do. We don't want to masturbate today. That's what one guy talks about that in a video. Don't masturbate. There's no must do anything. And that's why the horse won't drink sometimes, because they know they don't have to do anything, and you must. That word is very turn-offish. But things you can quit, let's say not must, but things you can quit if you want to hear from Spirit clearly. Number 1, pouring time into things that add zero value to your life, like too much entertainment, too much fiction reading, like love novels and all, and love stories, less external noise. Be intentional. Number 2, stop hanging with toxic, negative influencers, like negative horses, negative people. Stop hanging around with them. Number 3, stop criticizing and judging others and yourself. Woo, that's a big one. That was a big one. I said, wow, so many people can't drink the water when you lead them there because they're too busy criticizing. Well, I can't do that. I'm not strong enough. Oh, I have a horrible history. My parents died of this. Oh, I can't do that. The criticism of self, I think, is stronger sometimes than the criticism of others. So that's a great one. Number 4, quit magnifying what's going wrong and magnify the good. In other words, quit being pessimistic and try and be more optimistic. We can do that. Even with the new president coming in, this is a great opportunity to be more optimistic, and we talk about that later. And then 5, quit overdoing it. Busyness is enemy of spirited growth. If you want to evolve, grow spiritually, get into enlightenment, it's a slow process. You don't have to be overdoing and keeping busy to become more spiritual. Number 6, quit pleasing other people. Are you a people pleaser? You want to please, buy gifts for everyone. I have someone like that in my life. They're not very spiritual at all. They do all the things wrong. They read novels. They do all these things that they're advising not to do. and they love pleasing people. And that's an issue, I think, of self-criticism. I'm not worthy enough, so I'm going to please everybody else, and then maybe they'll think I'm worthy. You ever meet people like that? They're there. And then number 7, finally, quit overthinking, reasoning, analyzing. I hope you took note of those. If not, come back, play this again. And as far as my YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't usually remind my listeners that, but we're going forward on my YouTube channel with lots of information and news. We are the new media, YouTube, I'm saying. And so I'm going to be doing the work to bring you the best quality of information and entertainment and all that. So, all right, I hope this has been helpful to you. If so, if you find benefit out of this, like and subscribe on my channel and keep listening. So let's do some joint rolling together, because again, that's what we all need to do every morning before we even get out of bed. Throw those covers off, lift the legs up, hands, arms up, and let's start just right here with some breathing, because along with the joint rolling, when you wake up in the morning, it's a good idea to take a deep breath in through the nose, inhale through the nose and out through the nose. Some people like to do exhale through the mouth. That's perfectly okay with me. Whatever is helping you renew your strength and energy. Sometimes you can blow out the mouth, but if you do that too often, I find your mouth will get dry. You don't want to keep doing external breathing through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and let's just drop the chin, exhale, and let's just rotate this first galactic tone muscle of the neck. Doing this rotation one way and then the other is strengthening not just your muscles, but your chakra. You have a throat chakra here that it loves to hear your conscious activity, feel your conscious. Yeah, it hears. Your throat chakra is an energy center rolling around, and it's wanting to rotate with you every day with consciousness. So let's put on some music and let's get busy with rolling the wrist and the ankles first. These are galactic toning spots, and we're going to roll them to the sounds of blackness. Time for healing. Let's do it. Ooh, time for healing. So let's get on our back first thing in the morning. Kick up your legs and your arms and roll the ankles and the wrists. Time for healing. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And let's reverse that. You can take as long as you want with each rotation. It's up to you. Whatever feels good. You're going to feel better the longer you roll. But this morning, we're going to roll, and just keep it going. Even if you're sitting, you can do this. Kick your legs up and roll those ankles. And let's rub our hands together and massage the knees, and let's roll the lower legs, the muscles. This can possibly prevent knee problems. I think a lot of people don't realize how much the muscles around the knees get weak, and then you have weak problems because you're not doing enough rolling, you're sitting too long. Let's reverse. Too much sitting is horrible for the body, the muscles, the bones, everything. So you got to get up and move and roll around. All right. All right, let's put our feet on the floor and roll the lower arms around to get the elbows loosened up. And I did not do the shoulders, so we're going to have to do the shoulders while we're lying down. And both directions for the lower arm. Now let's turn over on our side And let's roll the whole arm around. That's going to get our shoulders. Let me do some camera shifting. Okay, roll the whole arm around. You can do this in bed and both directions. Roll, 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 both directions. You do this standing up too when you're just waiting in line or something. Now let's just get that hip action going. Roll the whole leg around. If you can, take your time. Don't rush. We're not in a hurry. Just roll that leg in both directions. Ooh, your hip is smiling. Your hip is getting strong. Your hip muscles are getting stronger. So we don't want any hip surgeries if we can avoid them. And this is one of the things that can help you avoid the hip surgery. All right, let's reverse, turn over. And let's get this other arm, shoulder motivated, other shoulder motivated. Oh, whew, that is feeling so good. Even on my back, I can feel my back muscles smiling. Reverse it. Ooh, the galactic toning is going on, and even in the cosmic arena, we're going to have toning in the heavens and promoting a better body. Actually, when you do this type of rolling, you're promoting a cosmic body as well. So, okay, let's move that leg around. Strengthen the muscles. Circulation improving, lymphatic system moving, just by these simple movements. Forward and then back. Back. Woo. I can feel energy coming even to my ankles, because when you're laying in bed all night, everything stops moving or slows down. Let's say everything slows down. Woohoo! That feels so good. Now let's get on our back. If you have trouble doing the rotations like that, flexing and bending is just as effective. You can do flex and bending, flex and straighten, flex and straighten, flex and straighten. Same thing with your toe, your feet and knees. You can just bend and straighten, flex and straighten. This is an alternative to get the blood moving and strengthen the muscles. Just keep bending and flexing. And then for your hip area, just raising your leg one leg at a time. And then you don't have to roll as much. Some people are not able to roll yet, but that's okay. Just lift. And this also helps with constipation. If you are struggling with bowel movements and problems in your colon area, this is moving. It's a kind of a massage for your colon area, your bowels. So do this as long as it takes to get those things moving in that area. All right, we are ready to move to knee. Hug those knees, hug those knees. Rotate, massage your spine. Hug your knees, hug your knees. Breathing in and out. Hope you've been breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. All right, so just roll to one side and push up. Now, for those of you who are concerned about your BBL, Brazilian butt lift, I always talk about that because so many women have died trying to improve their buttocks muscles. Here is the simple, free way to do it. It might take a little longer, but it works. I'm telling you, it works. It made a difference in my gluteus maximus, which was totally flat at one point, and then it started lifting up, because you either stand, you can do this on your hands and knees, straighten that leg out and lift. Hold it for a second or two, lift. Do this 10 times on each leg, 3 repetitions. So that means 10 lifts on each leg. Lift, hold, lift, hold, put on some good music. I put on Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On every time I do this because that just motivates me like nothing else. Let's Get It, not Let's Get It On. It's another Marvin Gaye song. Whatever. If Let's Get It On helps you move, do it. But lifting this leg and holding it is strengthening and lifting these buttocks muscles here. And that way, and do that 3 times, 10 times each leg. So that way you avoid the risk. There's a big risk in BBLs, and for the life of me, I don't know why women want huge buttocks at this stage in the game. But that's between you and your partner and you and yourself. Because again, one of those things we want to promote is loving. Stop criticizing yourself and others. Is going to help you have a better relationship with Creator. All right, so give yourself a hand if you've got through the joint rolling. And let's finish this off with some vagus nerve stimulation. Why vagus nerve? The vagus nerve is running from your brain stem. It's a Wi-Fi system from your brain stem all the way through your body. It's like a trunk of a tree. You could say your brain stem is the internal trunk in your spinal cord, your spinal system, and it goes out to the arms. It rotates out to the legs. It goes all over. So stimulating that vagus nerve helps the whole system run better. So place those hands behind the neck. Squeeze and release. Inhale. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And let's just go down. And you can do that for as long as you need to feel a shift in the body. Just keep massaging. Even if you can get a partner to do that, it's even better. But it's better or easier for you to do it on yourself if you can. And then just move down the shoulder, all down the arm. Give yourself a pat, especially in here where you have lymph glands that can get swollen, inflamed. Tap in that area. Down each arm. Give each arm some love. Here is your thymus gland. That's your big immune system booster all over your body. But the thymus gland, give that a tap. Tap, 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 tap. And then tap all around the boobies. You want those breasts to feel the love, 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 feel the love. This is all about flying first. Love yourself. And then finally, on the back of you get those kidneys. Those kidneys work hard. Those kidneys work hard. Give them some love back there. Tap, 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 tap. Breathe in love. Breathe in love. Breathe in love. And your adrenal glands too are pumping out hormones to help you manage the stress. And we are done. Woohoo! All right. So we're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the horse and why some horses don't drink the water, even though you lead them right to the water, the life, the water symbolic for life, for health, for strength, for renewal, and why some horses, when you lead them to the water, they don't want to drink for some reason. So we'll be right back to talk about that. And I want to introduce you to a beautiful soul that just left, a 103-year-old holistic doctor. And she's going to give us some of the clues why horses can be led to water and they don't want to drink. So we'll be right back after these messages.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, Be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And 5th Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
All right, we are back. And we have a comment in Facebook Live from our executive producer, Naima Latif. She's taking notes like you should be doing, because this is some important life-changing information today. Naima says she missed one of the 7 things you should do to hear from the Creator clearly. That was, if you missed the first part of the show, I gave 7 things that Lewis is his last name. He's a very famous philosopher. His last name's Lewis. Can't think of his first name. Maybe somebody out there. But I think what you missed was the quit magnifying what's going wrong and magnify the good. Because Naima got she got the frivolous activities, toxic people, stay away from, criticism of self and others, she got that, excessive busyness, she got that, overly people pleasing, yep, got that, overthinking things, got that. So you missed the quit magnifying what's going wrong and magnify what's good, what's going great. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Naima. Because that one says a lot about post-election activity. People are magnifying the hell out of what could go wrong instead of what could go good. In fact, I'm going to play something from Dr. Sunil Dahan, what could go good, and Dr. Eric Berg, if I have time, on what could go good. Instead of talking about, oh, what's going to happen if he's in the office and oh my God. No, that's one of the things you're not going to hear from Creator Spirit clearly if we keep magnifying what could possibly go wrong. What could possibly go? Anything could possibly go wrong, but anything could also possibly go right. Yeah. That's what we're looking at. So thank you for those comments. Now, the reason why I came up with this title about the horse is that it just kept coming to me that I haven't heard that phrase in a while. If you lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. I don't know how many of you have not heard that, but I've heard it most of my life, on and off and on. And the last week, it just kept coming to me. And I kept thinking, well, what is with that? What do we need to know? Well, this woman, talk about synchronicity, things happening at a certain time that make you think, is that a coincidence? Well, a doctor just passed, Gladys McGarry. I used to see many interviews of her over the years. She's 103 years old. She died a day after my oldest sister's birthday, September 28th. My oldest sister, who passed in 2002, passed from breast disease complications and all that. But Dr. McCreary died this year on September 28th. Now, I got a hold of that information just recently, and I'm like, oh, how sad. So I listened to some of the interview that was done in this year before she passed. Oh, she was a holistic doctor, which meant she treated her patients keeping in mind their mental, spiritual, and physical state. She and her husband were together for 40, I think it was 40 some years. And then he asked for a divorce after 6 children. This man asked for a divorce with this woman who had built this holistic business with him over like some 40 years. And she still went on for another 50 years or so doing what she was called to do. So when I heard her in recent interview, she gives a clue as to why the horse doesn't want to drink the water sometimes. Or in other words, why you or me or someone else who gets led to water, that means say someone like myself coaches them on what they need to do. Here's the information, all the tools you need, and yet they don't participate in the change that needs to occur for them to be healthy. She gives a great clue in this interview. So I'm sharing this with you today first, so we can talk about, again, the horse and why some horses, some people are led to health, life-giving elements, and yet they still don't want to drink or take in the knowledge and the wisdom. So here is Dr. Gladys, an interview of Dr. Gladys McCary, who died this year, September 28th, at 103-year-old. Let's listen to the wisdom from this woman.
Why do you think your message is being received so powerfully?
Because people are injured. They're scared. They don't know what to believe. They don't know where the light is, and darkness is all around. So people are just frightened. Young people are frightened. The teenagers don't know what to do. You know, where do we go with this life? They're looking for life guidance and somebody who can help them find the light and direct it. So that's what my mission is, really, is to carry a torch for those whose torches are kind of dim and they need more light.
What do you think we're getting stuck with when we're trying to embrace living medicine?
Because we really don't understand our own power. See, I have this kind of idea that when God created this earth, whoever God is to whoever you are, he created the earth and it was beautiful and everything was in place and the way it should be. But then he created the human being and he said to us, now you are the only creatures on this whole place that have the right to choose and have free will. So therefore, I give you dominion over the earth. And we, being who we were, decided that what he meant by dominion was dominance. And so we've taken over the earth and done what we darn well choose with it. And look where we are. So it's that reality that within us as human beings, I think that like E.T. who was reaching for home, I think that in the inner part of us, we're all reaching for our true humanity. And that true humanity understands that we are the ones who do the healing. The healing has to start with it. It doesn't matter anything if I can explain to a patient and they're thinking about something else, they're not listening and they're not taking in anything, and they won't do what I'm asking them, or what they begin to understand what I'm asking them, or whatever. If they don't do what they need to do as part of their healing process, they'll just shuck it off.
Now, there is where I believe she answers the question about the horse. Why doesn't the horse drink the water after the horse is led to the water? After a person is led to life-giving elements, things that can help them change their situation, we lead the horse as therapists, as counselors, as light workers. As she said, we should all be leading the way with a torch for this lost people in darkness. But why is it they don't drink? Because, as she said, it's something inside of you that has to choose to work this process of healing. It's a process. Most people don't get instant healing and everything is fine, the body's working fine, and because they pray or whatever, it doesn't happen. As she said, it's something inside of us that has to work the process and be willing to do the work. So let me continue for just a few minutes more on her for her wisdom.
Yeah, I've come up with what I call 5 L's. The first one is life and love. Without life, there's nothing, you know. You can be a seed in the Great Pyramid for 5,000 years and nothing happens until love, which is light and water and so on,
Water.
softens the shell, and the light and the seed opens up and it grows. Life and love are one unit. They work together. It's like a pregnancy. When a mother is pregnant, she and that baby are one unit. What she eats, the baby eats. What she thinks, the baby thinks. It's a constant process. But that aspect of reality that is that baby that is being nurtured and grown within the womb doesn't really find its own identity until it takes its first breath. And then it becomes who it is. It takes the reason why it's coming into this earth. So it's this reality that life and love are one unit, and that as we work with each other that way, we can really understand aspects of ourselves, but aspects of the world around us, and aspects of other people too.
It's really interesting.
So that's just a little bit about Dr. Gladys McCarry. She said something interesting when her husband divorced her after 45 years of marriage and 6 children. Who gets over that? Not many people. But she went on another 50 years or so after that and continued her work as a holistic physician. But one of the things she did, which I thought was brilliant, her name is Gladys. And she was led by Spirit, hearing clearly from Spirit Matters, to put a change her license plate to Be Glad for Gladys. So that every time she looked at her license plate, instead of grieving and moaning about a husband who divorced you after 40 some years, she looked at the license plate every day that reminded her, and she quotes a scripture, Be Glad, from the scriptures that reminded her every day. And she said, I felt like when people are traveling behind her in their cars, they're also singing Be Glad. So much wisdom. You can go to YouTube and find Gladys McGarry, and if you want to listen to more, she has lots of wisdom coming out. But I want to give you a little optimism before we go, because of all the post-election pessimism. We're going to continue to be optimistic on the female solution. And one of my sisters of the mic is here, Zelda, our Monday morning mindfulness host, says, grateful to be enjoying the show as we take time to enjoy what the Creator has given us. Yes, thank us. And as we said, Thanksgiving is continuing. Please don't leave the turkey and dressing and all that behind and think we don't have to be grateful. It's a daily. Let this be the beginning of gratitude, not the finished turkey dinner gratitude, but let us every day with your joint rolling express the gratitude that will raise your vibration and help your body be on a different frequency. You want to change the frequency. So let me just share with you, Dr. Sunil Dahan has this new video out that he's so excited about, this new appointment that Trump has made National Institute of Health Director, and why he's optimistic. So we don't have to be pessimistic about anything this new president-elect is doing. We can be optimistic about everything because we are going to play a role in it now. We're not going to sit back and watch the political scene. We're going to play a role. That's what I'm hoping all of you will do. So here's Dr. Sunil Dahan, one of my favorite conscious doctors, sharing the news about Trump's. He says this is Trump's best appointment so far, and here's why.
Internal medicine physician. Welcome to another video. Well, I wanted to make this video this morning. I'm on my way into the hospital, and I wanted to pull over because we had some fantastic news last night, and I had to share it in this video. It's very cold in this part of the United States where I am, so hopefully my car doesn't get too cold while I pulled over and switched the engine off. But the news absolutely delighted me and made me feel very warm and fuzzy indeed, because last night, President-elect Trump announced that Dr. Jay Bhattacharya is going to be the head of the NIH, the National Institutes of Health of the United States. This is absolutely huge news because the head of the NIH has a lot of power. And those of you who know Dr. Bhattacharya from what he's done over the last few years and the brave stances he has taken will know why this is big news. Actually, this follows a series of very positive announcements when it comes to health and well-being, which is my area of interest. RFK Jr. as the Health and Human Services Secretary, a man who can really shake things up. And boy, do we need things shaken up in a field which is full of corruption and conflicts of interest. Really needs a complete cleanup, including our toxic food environment. Then we had Dr. Marty Makary as head of the FDA, another independent critical thinker. Very positive about him being in that position. I'm less enthusiastic about the new US Surgeon General, as I spoke about recently, but who knows, maybe she will prove us wrong. But Dr. Jay Bhattacharya as head of the NIH, the biggest public health research organization in the world, which has an enormous budget, is an absolutely huge deal. Those of you who have been following Dr. Bhattacharya over the last few years will know how brave and courageous he is, especially as someone who is in academics. He spoke up from the very beginning against the enormous harms of lockdowns, mandates being unethical, and also certain concerns about the shots. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, what a man. Now just imagine how far we have come over the last 3 years. Only 3 years ago, many of us were faced with coercive, unethical, and also illegal mandates. And many very high up in the US public health infrastructure, I should call it industry, were absolutely relentless in piling upon Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, including Mr. Fauci himself. There were lots of internal emails that have since been released labeling Dr. Jay Bhattacharya as a fringe scientist, as a quack, somebody who's not to be listened to. They absolutely refused to even listen to his logical arguments. They wanted to totally discredit him. And the entire medical industrial complex was quite relentless in that. But he stood firm. He is a man of immense courage, bravery, personal integrity, and he's also a very kind soul indeed. I've followed him for many years, and this is absolutely wonderful news that he is going to be in that top position. None of us who lived through that time will ever forget the darkness of that time. Only 3 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. Perhaps it's fate that I'm making this video in my car again. Many of you who have followed me for some time.
So that's, again, Dr. Sunil Dahan. Now, before we go, that's what I think is great news too, is a lot of the people who are going to potentially be in this new administration are going to work to change around the sickness and disease that we've been seeing growing and creating problems in our country, America. We're the sickest nation on the planet practically. But I also want to share with you something about relationships, because that's key. My new book, book that I'm republishing I'm really focused on the relationships I've had with the people in my life who taught me about what causes disease and how to overcome it. So these two videos, I'm going to share two videos. One with Dr. Dispenza. Dr. Dispenza is very, very popular. He's a chiropractor, and both of these videos, Denzel Washington and Joe Dispenza, are both talking about why living alone is one of the best things you can experience in your life and why. So let's look at some of the reasons you can be happy and joyful if you're living alone that maybe you weren't so aware of. But we're going to go to, let's see, Joe Dispenza gives a more scientific reason why living alone improves your whole being. So I want to share just a little bit of that with you before we go.
Studies show that in major cities across the world, over 50% of households are now single-person dwellings. That's not just a number, it's a revolution in human consciousness. And there's a brilliant reason behind this shift that most people haven't realized yet. When I work with people in my advanced workshops, I see something remarkable. The ones who've mastered being alone aren't just surviving, they're literally transforming their biology. Their brain scans show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for higher thinking and emotional regulation. Let me share something personal with you. I remember the moment everything changed for me. I was sitting in my study, surrounded by research papers about neuroplasticity when it hit. We've been programmed, literally programmed, to believe we need relationships to be complete. But here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the emotions you create internally and those triggered by external relationships. You can produce the same feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all by yourself. Think about this. Every time you reach for a relationship to feel whole, you're reinforcing neural pathways of dependency. You're telling your body, I need something outside of myself to feel good. But what if I told you that the most powerful relationship you'll ever have is with your own consciousness? Here's what's happening in your brain when you're in a relationship. You're constantly adjusting your behavior, thoughts, and emotions to maintain homeostasis with another person. Your brain is splitting its resources, dividing its attention. But when you're alone, something extraordinary happens. Your neural networks start firing in perfect synchronicity. You become what I call energetically coherent. The latest research in neuroscience shows that people who master solitude have stronger neural integration.
Now that might be new to some of you. I was like thrilled to hear that because I live alone and I love it. I love it. And so if you want to hear more about that, go to Joe Dispenza, Why Living Alone is Beneficial. Now, I also saw the same title. I was really surprised. The same title on a video that Denzel Washington, who we all know and love, was giving advice about. So I have to share a little bit of this as well because we love Denzel's voice. And Denzel has, as he's grown older, of course, he's always sharing wisdom. But I was surprised to hear him talk about this topic, the same as Joe Dispenza, only on a more practical, simpler level and not with all the science. So let's hear from Denzel Washington, who we love, about why living alone beats any.
I stood here thinking about all those messages we get every single day. Find your soulmate. Don't be alone. You need somebody. Let me tell you something. That's all noise, pure noise. See, I've lived both sides of the coin. I've been in relationships and I've lived alone. And let me tell you straight up, living alone is not just good. It's magnificent. It's not emptiness. It's freedom in its purest form. Look at your life right now. Every morning you wake up, that moment is yours. Every decision you make is yours. That remote control, nobody's fighting you for it. That last slice of pizza, all yours. But I'm not talking about these small things, although they matter too. I'm talking about something bigger. When you live alone, you're forced to face yourself. There's no hiding behind someone else's shadow, no using another person as your crutch. It's just you standing tall, facing the world head on. You know what happens in relationships sometimes? People start losing themselves. They forget who they were before. What movie do you want to watch? Turns into what movie would they enjoy? Where should I eat? Becomes where they prefer to go, bit by bit, piece by piece. You start chipping away at who you really are. But living alone, That's when you truly find your voice. That's when you understand what makes you tick. You learn to fix things. You learn to handle problems. You learn that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being complete. Some folks will tell you, but what about coming home to someone? I'll tell you what's better. Coming home to peace. Coming home to a space that reflects exactly who you are. Coming home to an environment where you can truly be yourself without compromise, without explanation, without apology.
Now, when I heard about that from Denzel, I thought about my father who divorced my mother because he couldn't come home to peace. He shared this in his book, and I don't have his book cover here because I'm on the beach. But my dad divorced my mom, as he said, because he lived a childhood of a lot of conflict with alcoholics in his family. And when my mother became dependent on alcohol and he couldn't come home to peace, as he put it, then he had to make a decision to find peace away from our home. And so that's a whole nother story. But that's the beauty of, and so my dad survived to be 95 because he chose to have a life of peace versus conflict with my mom, who was dependent on alcohol and so forth and so on. No good or bad to it. I'm just grateful that I learned the lessons from that relationship. And so as we go, we have a comment from our sister Zelda, Monday Morning Mindfulness. She says, Denzel and Joe hit the nail on the head. Singlehood is truly a blessing you don't realize you need until later in the never feel bad you're alone in life. But never feel bad you're alone. There you go. Feels better than anything people can offer. Freedom. Yes, yes, yes. And she says, let's see. Notice Denzel voiced his opinion over nature, trees, water, nature. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. And that kind of brings us, thank you, Zelda, my sister from another mother. That brings us full circle about the horse. The horse, metaphor, if you will, symbolism about leading someone to the water of life. And Denzel put it in his video with all that nature. And that's where you have a lot of people who I've dealt with who don't want to drink the water because the psyche, the emotions, the traumas are not healed yet. And so they hesitate to move forward in that healing process. As Dr. McGarry said, it's a process. And no therapist, no counselor can force anyone to drink the water. All we can do is offer the tools, offer the encouragement, and shine the light and carry the light for those who are ready. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So may you be blessed to stay in gratitude. That's key on the frequency of consciousness, gratitude, forgiveness, and enlightenment. That's where we go to improve our health first. And again, those 7 things you have to do to hear from the Creator. Go back and listen to the show if you missed that, because they are key. If you can master those 7 things, you're on your way to healing and health. Because self-criticism, I'm learning self-criticism is the worst to keep you in low vibration and fear about your health, your life, and so forth. So thank you for joining me. This is a quick lesson today. 1-hour shows. We're going to be going more and more on the female solution to 1-hour shows that bring you the quality, the information, and the inspiration that you need to stay in gratitude. That's whatever you do, just stay in gratitude. So we're going to, let me see if there are any. Oh, I didn't go to Blog Talk. Let me go to the studio. Oh, we have a hand up. Let me not miss the hand up. Let's see, 336-350. Your mic is open. Welcome. Looks like Mama AZ. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic. Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Okay. Greetings. I have a message. for Sister Zelda, for Dr. Lateef, and for you.
Okay. We're listening.
Minister Cynthia Marie Williams is in the house, and Brother Abdul Lateef is also in the house. And the reason that I mentioned the three of you is because of the Trinity. I think if you add up today, it adds up to a 3. If I'm not, am I correct? If
Yes,
you add
yes.
digits today,
Yeah, 1129,
All right.
yes.
okay, that's Sister Zelda, you, and Dr. Lateef. You're going to a new level. My mother is even communicating through me about you, Dr. Lateef, and that horse. I nearly fell over when I saw that. I have so much more to share, but the female solution and soul purpose healing is going to a level like you've never, ever seen ever in this lifetime. So they just want to let you know. And when I say they, I'm speaking of my mother, Maddie Paris. I'm speaking of Brother Abdul Lateef. And I'm speaking of Minister Cynthia Marie Williams. I love you. I love her for bringing me out of the closet and giving me the courage. And I appreciate you and Dr. Lateef, Dr. V, for bringing wellness, bringing wholeness, and helping me in this lifetime to stay grounded. That's why I sent you those rounds. The picture of my friend, Brother Alan, his name is Alan too, helping me with those rounds because things are getting ready to shift. And one other quick thing, the elder that made her transition, her vibration sounds like Jane Elliott.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was about to ask you to get her. That's why I called you yesterday to see if you can get Jane Elliott, you and Dr. Lateef, on your show because something is getting ready to formulate it. That's why I called you yesterday, because my mama had me to, well, my mother told me that it's time. And maybe Jane Elliott can give us some additional information that would help us in this time of all the chaos when it comes to Trump and everybody else. And thank you for allowing me to say that. And I would like to dedicate this show to my brother, Bobby Paris.
All right.
We need to talk about some things, Dr. V.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
need to help me.
Yes.
Thank us, Female Solution. Thank us.
All
Thank
right.
us, Soul Purpose Healing.
Thank
Peace.
us.
Thank
Yes, and I took note of Jane Elliott, and we'll see what the universe has me to do about that. But yeah, and you can find Jane Elliott even on YouTube. There's so much education on YouTube that we could spend the whole year just educating, and that's what we do. And I agree with you that the Female Solution is about to go to a new level. We are the new media. We are the new media. All those fake news, CNN, MSNBC is crashing big time. So we are preparing in the Female Solution to be your choice for news, inspiration, information, and more. So thank you all for being here with me this morning. And Mama AZ, Zelda says, thank us, Mama AZ. And so we're going to say goodbye now to our global family, and everybody go out and get some sun. Oh, it's so beautiful here right now. There wasn't a cloud in the sky most of the day. And everybody, wherever you are, I don't care how cold it is, get out there and put your face in the sun. It's got to be there somewhere. So we're going to say goodbye now to our global family. And we wish you gratitude, a day of gratitude. Be grateful for everything, because why? It's a lesson about the horse being led to water. And even if things are rough, you're still being led to water, because that's what creator, divine energy is in us to lead us to water.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
And for all my yogi friends out there, namaste, sat nam, and aloha, aloha in Hawaii, Maui, Lahaina. You got this. Stand strong. We love you. Much love and appreciation for all of you. Shalom.